I've now moved on to the next hard Mountain Dew in that pack.
It was a... Wait a second. It was a fucking variety pack of hard Mountain Dews?
Oh, yeah. That's a variety pack because they have multiple flavors. There is Baja
What Florida,
Blast.
Kentucky place did you go to get that shit?
It's just Giant Eagle. And I got it at the same time as I bought like actual like legit ass liquor. So I was like, okay, so like here's all the good stuff. Like the freaking the 19-year Johnny Walker that's like $20 for like a little tiny bottle that's like enough to make maybe 2 drinks. And like aviation gin and shit like that, like, you know, some actual
fuck
big
yeah,
name stuff.
Ryan Reynolds, national treasure.
Yeah.
Even though he's Canadian, don't even care, national treasure.
And then after looking at all that, ooh, you know what? I need some horse shit in my life. Here's this Mountain Dew hard variety pack.
What flavor is that one?
This one here that I have is watermelon.
Whoa, is it the Sergeant Watermelon or whatever?
It's supposed to be like it's supposed to be like the Major Melon.
Major Melon.
I'm really concerned as to what is in this one because the first 2 sips were god fucking awful, but I feel like it's rearranged the DNA on my tongue because it now tastes not too bad.
It's cough syrup. It's just fucking cough syrup.
Yeah, I guess.
It's like weirdly, also my throat feels very, very good right now.
Time to get your fix. It's a horrible gaming podcast. It's not good, it's not great. Horrible gaming podcast. It's not even what you would call fair. It's really not that good. Horrible Gaming Podcast.
Hello, my name is Zach Rye with Old Man Gaming, and you, dear listener, have for whatever reason chosen again to listen to a horrible gaming podcast. I am not alone. Usually I'm never alone. With me is...
Neil, aka Tiny Wizard.
And as you guys can hear, my voice still has not returned to my body, so...
Which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I'm not going to lie, this is how I always get sick, too. There was a period in my life where I was hoarse for about 4 months. So I don't know. Like I think it's just because I talk too much. But when I get sick, if it ever lingers, it always lingers in my throat and my voice. So I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna get it back.
Is that like nature's way of telling you to shut the fuck up?
I think so. I think so. And you know what I say to nature? No, I will continue to talk too much. Thank you very much. So that being said, we got a show for you guys today. We're going to talk video games poorly. But before we do that, we got to thank the people who allow us to do this. Number one, behind our ugly mugs, you see a fancy graphic. That graphic was provided by Mr. Mark Bell. He does all the graphics here on the channel. We thank him for that. And of course, the music, the theme song for this show and all of the shows at Old Man Gaming are provided by the man who makes the music, Nick Van Slyder's my brother. We thank him for that. We will be right back with Fan Traction.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, everybody, that brings us to our first segment, our most important segment. That is Fan Traction. That's where we, the co-hosts, talk to you guys, the fans. We read out all your comments in all the places we can find them or remember to find them in. And we talk about them, we answer them, that sort of thing. So right off the bat, let's jump into the YouTube comments. We only got 3 this week. Nothing wrong with that. But we start with Azadam66. Wait, who is getting raises? What is this, voodoo? He then says, I hate that Call of Duty is in the news for any reason other than a repeat of the great Atari ET dumping. Then he continues, I couldn't remember Moonbreaker, so I searched it real quick. first thought, oh yeah, it's the game I wasn't that excited for, and I figured it would have microtransactions. The top results were all microtransactions being removed. They took out all currency. Now you own all figures and use sparks up to up the rarity, which is for cosmetics only. Company really tried to give a reach around, and I would still be afraid of them adding back in microtransactions in the road. All right, so I got a hot take on this Moonbreaker thing. Just to tell everybody, right after we recorded our show last week, but slightly before we put it up, Moonbreaker did a 180. They took out all their microtransactions. And one of my odds and ends was that Moonbreaker was having a really hard time getting launched because it was basically, there was a purchase price to it. It was a $30 game that still had a ton of microtransactions in it, which, well, we'll get into it, which was a big problem for a lot of people because it also limited the amount in which you could even earn the stuff without spending money. So it's a real shitty way of doing things.
Yeah.
That being said, they have now removed all microtransactions. I think this was dumb. Okay, I know, hot take, but I think they went the wrong way with it. I think instead of removing the microtransactions, they should have removed. They should have removed the purchase price.
Yep.
Hear me out here. I know a lot of people are like, what are you fucking talking about? Look, here's how they should have done it. They should have done it like a digital collectible card game. Mm-hmm. You can earn the packs by playing the game, or you can spend a little money and get some packs by yourself. That's how the miniature games work, and I think that this would have worked just fine that way. Because, look, there is kind of a fun to the loot box stuff of it. And I know that, like, this is a huge hot take because of loot boxes. But my problem with loot boxes are never, like, the loot box mechanic of it. It's that they shoehorn this loot box mechanic into every different game, obviously to make money off you. Whereas the loot box mechanic in, like, packs of cards and miniatures is kind of fun. It's kind of fun to see what you get each time. The thing that's annoying is when you have to spend money for it all the time. I would be totally okay with, like, here's your starting miniatures. As you play, you earn an in-game currency, you buy packs with it, and then you see what you get, and then you can add that in to your different builds and whatnot. I think they went too far because they took that collector's aspect out of it. You now own all the miniatures right off the jump. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't really sit right with me as far as, like, trying to simulate the collectible miniature experience. I don't think they're doing that with this. I think what they should have done is made the fucking game free to play like they had in the first place. And they should have eased up on some of the microtransactions so that you could earn the miniatures in game in your own way. But there was also some microtransactions where you could buy sets ahead of time. Like, that would have been the way to go here. And I feel like they made a huge mistake with this.
Yeah, I actually completely agree with that. Like,
really,
knows
I thought you were going to fight me on that one hard.
No, that's the thing is, like, everybody knows that I hate microtransactions, but I mean, we have talked about this before. If it's a free-to-play game, go ham, dudes. Like, you got to make money somehow. It's the paying full price or paying some sort of admission price to get the game,
right? And
then them nickel and diming you for other shit.
Right.
They did that with Halo. Like, I've bitched about this before. Halo 5. In the multiplayer for Halo 5, yeah, sure, you could earn some of that in-game stuff by playing matches over and over and over and over and over again. But hey, you give us $5 here, $6 here, you can unlock some of that stuff a lot faster, and some stuff you can't even get on a regular grind like that. You know,
yeah,
that's the sort of situation. Like you said, like a collectible card game and stuff like that. Now, I still try to avoid giving real money to those things because I know how I am. Like, when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links on a regular basis on my phone. Same situation. It's a collectible card game where they want you to spend real money to get these packs of cards.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I have this system using Google Play rewards to where like you answer surveys and they give you like a quarter here, a dime here, whatever. And I used to use that stuff to get my packs of cards along with playing the game.
Right.
And I did, though, because I didn't actively, buy the game, put some real money into it here and there. But I don't do that because I know I only play these games for so often, and then I fall off of them.
Right.
But like I said, they have to make money somewhere.
Right.
I don't, criticize them for, having a microtransaction system or a season pass or something when it's a free to play game. It's like I said, when you have to pay something up front just to get into the damn thing, and then they get you beyond that.
I mean, 100% agree with that. I'm kind of surprised you agree with me so hardcore on this, but the other thing too is this is a very specific genre of thing, like we're not talking about like a battle royale or a multiplayer like deathmatch game. We're talking about a collectible figure game, and like I play a lot of digital card games. One of the cool aspects of it is trying to find the cards that you want, trying to collect those cards and grinding out those cards to get more cards, And I know I'm comparing it, and it's a miniature game, but they're very similar in their building mechanics.
Yeah.
So like, and even some of those games will have a system of crafting cards where when you get like duplicates of a card, you can get rid of those duplicates, and it gives you a certain number of currency that'll allow you to make a specific card that you want specifically instead of trying to find it in a pack.
Right.
Like stuff like that's really cool because then I'm grinding, I'm earning it through gameplay, I'm building my deck, I'm building my collection. It hits you on two fronts, not just the playing mechanic, but the collecting mechanic. And the collecting stuff is fun. That's why people collect things, This completely removes the collection aspect of it. It completely removes it. You get every miniature right up front. There's no reason to play at that point. There's no, like, real story mode. Like, you're just doing versus matches and painting your miniatures. You've taken out the one reason you had in the first place to play the game, which was to earn more figures, So, like, I feel like this was just a wrong move all the way around, like an overreaction to a poor launch, which it was a poor launch. They shouldn't have launched it in the way they did, but they shouldn't have done what they did to correct it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right, moving on. William Hohen. Hi! Exclamation point. Man, Zach, you were not kidding about your voice. Yikes. Laugh out loud. Happy to see you're doing...
not kidding.
Happy to see you're doing better overall. I am doing better overall. The family's doing better overall. It's just been a hard kick. And it will not get out of my throat for some reason. Neil, I don't have Twitter. Me, high five, brother. That place is such a cesspool of garbage. It's unbelievable, really.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I do want to say something on this subject. I'm sorry. I am having stomach issues. Give me 1 second. There we go. All right. The thing that I want to say on this subject, on a whole, Twitter is a cesspool. It really is. And I don't think it serves the purpose it meant to serve in the first place. It's been twisted into a nasty, terrible place. But there are pockets of it that are really positive. And I'm going to shout out the tabletop RPG community, the TTRPG community. It's where I met Wizards Respite. It's where I've gotten a lot of support for my game and my gaming company, and they go out of their way to use that platform to promote other indie people and indie stuff. So while the whole of Twitter is probably on a whole a garbage fire, there are pockets of it of really positive things where you can kind of see that light of what Twitter was supposed to be in the first place, and it obviously isn't that. So I just want to shout out the tabletop RPG, the TTRPG people on Twitter. just really nice and super supportive people. They never say anything negative. They support all their brothers and sisters when they're making their games and stuff. They have 4 out of the 7 days are days where they just like promote each other. They're really awesome. Rest of Twitter, pretty shitty. But I only have Twitter because it is still, unfortunately, a great place to promote things. Our view counts and our listen counts doubled since I've been using Twitter. And that's just a fact.
That's good.
Twitter does do mechanically what it's supposed to do, which is put your shit in front of a lot of people. It's quick shit, and that's, really the problem in a lot of areas is there's a lot of people saying just terrible shit on there, and that shit is getting put in front of a lot of people. But mechanically, it still does that, where you can put your stuff out there, you can put a few hashtags in, and that stuff will reach a broader audience. So for promotion purposes, I definitely recommend it. When you're trying to promote a YouTube channel or a blog or a podcast or anything. But that being said, overall, it's successful. So his post continues. So for my off topic, I was looking at the games I've played this year and was quite surprised at how many I've finished, aka seen the end credits. Here's a list. Please don't read it all. It'll be boring as fuck. Too bad, Will. We're reading them all. Tales of Vesperia, Oxenfree, Foregone, Until Dawn, The Quarry, Dark Pictures Anthology, 3 titles, Bloodstained, Bastion's a great game, Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Gris, Journey, Before Your Eyes, Queen's Wish the Conqueror, Dismantle, Resident Evil 7, I didn't even know Dismantle had credits, Turtles Shredder's Revenge, fuck yeah. TMNT, The Fall of the Foot Clan, To the Moon, Assemble with Care, and Grim Valor. Well, anyway, as always, great stuff. Thank you for the show. Hashtag Subway is fast food. It is not. It is not fast food. I will say that every time. Every time. Thank you for the post, though, Will. We always appreciate it. This is a lot of games, and this reminds me, I have talked to a bunch of people about being in the committee for the Horrible Game Awards.
Oh, yeah.
If you're wondering where your message has been, I have not gotten around to sending them. I didn't leave you out or whatever. I'm probably going to be sending out the message and getting that thing started probably second week of November. Okay? Let's face it. We all want to see... we don't want to skip out on Sonic Frontiers. Want to make sure that's in consideration. And then finally, Jason jumps in. The most important question for Gotham Knights, though, did they do Nightwing's ass justice? I have no idea. I have not played it, so I cannot speak to the tightness or attractiveness of Dick Grayson, a.k.a. Nightwing's buttocks. I cannot speak to it because that game is a fucking trash fire. So you will not be seeing me play it anytime soon. So anything to add to Fantraction, sir?
No. The list of games that William Hohen has finished, I was literally thinking, like, what have I seen the credits of this year? And it's only been Tiny Tina's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I believe that is really it.
I've seen the credits of a few games.
Yeah, just Tiny Tina's, and then Dad of Boy here in about 2 weeks.
Dad of Boy. I have seen the credits on Sifu repeatedly. I have seen the credits on Midnight Fight Express. Let me see, what else have I seen the credits on? I've definitely seen the credits on Turtles. That's for sure, Z's. And then most of the other games that I played were very, they don't have an end sort of situations. So I haven't really finished them because they don't ever end. Those are the kind of games that attract me, though. So I don't know what to say about that. All right. Well, Fantraction's done. Let's get into the talking point.
All righty.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to our talking point today. Neil's talking point. He picked this one out, so I'm going to toss it to you, Neil. What's our talking point today?
All right. So Phil Spencer did an interview, and he said things and stuff, and it's a lot of different things here. So some of the things that were covered, I had mentioned this to Zach, and he actually got more stuff out of it than I did too. So I'll go over what I have, and then we could go over what you have, and then just go into it. So I mean, first and foremost, I think the biggest news out of it, Phil Spencer's basically confirmed what we've expected for a while now, and you and I have speculated on for a while, like at least a year plus, saying in this interview that at some point they're going to have to raise prices on, quote, some things, not really saying what those things could be. But it won't happen until after the holidays, leading some people to think that they may be doing what Sony did in basically other countries other than the US by raising the console, the price of the console by like $50 or $100 for the Series X and possibly S, and then probably with Game Pass as well. He also confirmed that there was a picture that was released not too long ago of like Phil Spencer's shelf, and of course after everybody found out, you know, the last time there was a picture that had the secret Xbox Series S hiding in it before it was officially announced, everybody started scrutinizing the picture, and they did find this little tiny white box, and they were asking about what that was. Apparently that was the fabled Project Keystone, which was supposed to be the streaming only device so that you would just basically do game streaming with Game Pass through that straight to your TV. I keep saying all of this in past tense because basically he also confirmed that that project has been shelved as well. So there's some stuff there. And then what did you find too in the other parts of this interview?
He blasted Facebook's metaverse. I actually have the IGN thing up, and basically his quote from WSJ Live on the metaverse was, "Today it's a poorly built video game. Building a metaverse that's like a living room is not how I want to spend my time. What I see in the metaverse world is that we're at the stage, and we're at an early stage, and this will evolve." Basically saying that, like, yeah, this could be something, but it's shit right now, which is kind of interesting because even though he kind of lessened the blow at the end, kind of ballsy to just take a shot at fucking Facebook and Zuckerberg like that. I don't know. Interesting. So that's where I am. What part of this do you want to talk about first?
Well, let's go into the lighter stuff because I think there's one part of this that we'll really hang up on for a minute.
Yeah, I think so too.
So the whole Facebook metaverse thing, they're trying to make something happen that's not gonna be viable for a long time, which is going to lead into the next part of whatever I was going to say as well. Like, you know, we don't have the infrastructure here to do what Metaverse wants people to do with the network and the technology and everything like that. If they wanted to develop it to be something that's a lot more viable, or at least like something that people would want, it would have to be a bit more developed. But like the infrastructure for the networking for this, you know, everybody here, at least in this country, only has two options for internet, and they both suck, which actually kind of leads into what I was going to say too about, I did end up forgetting part of what the Project Keystone thing. He did mention a little bit about game streaming. He doesn't see it as the future of gaming. Yeah. He sees it more as an option for gaming. Basically saying that people are going to have boxes under their TVs for a hot minute now.
Okay, well, let's do metaverse first because I have just a couple things to say on that. First of all, I don't think necessarily the infrastructure of network is what's holding us back. It's the fact that really to be in the metaverse, you have to have VR, which is the most expensive form of gaming console, which has the least amount of content available to you. And don't get me wrong, I'm not necessarily knocking VR as a whole. I know that there's a lot of people who enjoy it and have fun with it. There are a lot of people who it makes very sick. This guy right here. And it's not there to what it's supposed to be right now, but it's still hyper expensive and it doesn't really have the content available to make it worth the purchase. And that's literally what you need to be in the metaverse. You tack on the fact that Facebook has just recently announced that they're raising the prices due to supply problems of their headsets. I don't know what they're trying to accomplish there. They're literally making the metaverse. They're trying to tell us that the metaverse is extremely accessible. It's the future of gaming and it's the future of the way that we're going to talk to people. And then they're basically cutting us off at the knees to get it. I don't know what they expect us to do. Mortgage our houses so that we can sit in a virtual living room and play checkers with somebody? Like, that's not fun. That's not interesting. There's nothing about that makes me want to be a part of it. Plus, when you have something like this, like a virtual world, it can be a really cool idea. Not when it's run by a giant company that likes to sell your information to Russia. Like, that's not something you want. It's not something you part of. I mean, Facebook has had serious problems with security, serious problems with like that sort of like second party selling your information. Do you really want to give that up to, again, sit in a virtual living room and play checkers with somebody? I don't. Like, just the sign-on rate, aside from the internet alone, the buy-in, the amount you're sacrificing and paying to buy into the metaverse is kind of asinine to even think that it's a thing. So the idea that they're pushing it so hard on us is kind of dumb. So in a rare moment, I am in agreement with Phil, but I'll go one further. I don't think it's ever going to be viable as long as it's in the hands of Mark Zuckerberg. Just isn't. He doesn't care about us or getting us onto it. He just wants us to think it's cool. That's it.
Yeah, it's almost like somebody at Facebook, maybe even Mark himself, watched Ready Player One and said, you know what? Fucking that right there. Like...
And it'd be a really cool idea if you made it accessible to us, but you raised the prices of your headsets. Like,
and that's the thing is like, especially for people who are getting into VR, usually I hear of people getting the Quest for like light gaming and stuff like that. So those are the people who are spending like, $300, $400 for the device. And that's about it for the family to play basically Beat Saber and take videos of their family members falling all over the place.
Right.
Or you have the people who are like with the serious ass buy-in who are like, I want to be at the, at the bottom floor of this here. And they get, they build their PCs out for VR and, buy the high-end like Vive headsets that are like $500-$600 plus, and then have like entire rooms dedicated to it. There's not enough of those people to justify trying to bring the other people on. Yeah, because I mean, even I was reading an article the other day. Even Facebook's own staff barely uses it. From what I understand, they're trying to have meetings within the company take place in the metaverse, and like nobody wants to fucking do it.
Why would you want to do that? It chucks down the hall. Why do I need to put on a mask and pretend to be a clown avatar to talk to him about the fucking fiscal reports? Like, I don't he's just right over there. I'll just go talk to him. It's fucking insane. All right, let's move on to more serious things.
Yes.
Well, go ahead. Start.
So we're just gonna go into the big one then.
I mean, unless there's another small one you want to speak
No,
about.
I mean that was about it. I mean, yeah, let's just do it. At some point or another, they were gonna raise the price of Game Pass.
That's what he's hinting at.
Yeah, that's what he's hinting at. Now, a lot of people are concerned about the price of the console going up as well. I don't know. I don't necessarily think that will happen because they make so much fucking money with Game Pass even now. And even with them looking to raise the price of Game Pass, they're still going to do it in such a way that'll make them money. I think they can take that $50 hit to say we're the cheaper console with better specs, and you can actually find these fucking things as opposed to PS5 still. So go ahead with that, I'm sure that's what they're gonna do. And
right.
I've said before, I still feel like I'm stealing.
I don't.
When I have Game Pass, like I feel like I should pay more. So I'm not super upset about them raising the price, but it does make me wonder what they're gonna raise the price to, because I can't imagine that they're gonna like come in guns ablaze and say, "Oh, the price of Game Pass is going up like $10-$20 a month." I think it might be a $3 to $5 increase.
All right. Are you done? Because I got a big rant coming.
Yeah, here we go.
All right. First of all, you shouldn't feel like you're stealing because they're stealing from you. And I'm going to tell you why they're stealing from you. They have released the amount of money they make off Game Pass. They make billions of dollars, stupid amounts of money. If they were to say, hey, we're just barely breaking even, we got to raise the price. Okay, I get it. It is a great value in gaming, but you're making money hand over fist. The idea that the service would never go up is insane. And I'm not in that camp that it should be locked at $9.99 or whatever it is forever. I don't think that. But what I do think is that you can't release information saying that Game Pass makes you an ungodly, stupid amount of money 3 months before you raise the price. That's fucking dumb. I'm going to go out on another further limb, even further. The reason they're raising the price has nothing to do with us, and it has nothing to do with oversaturation, which is what the interview alluded to. It alluded to him being like, they are getting less and less people jumping onto Game Pass. So basically everybody who's getting Game Pass has Game Pass, which is why they have to start raising the price. That is absolute bullshit. It's asinine crap. The reason they are raising the price is because they are cornering the market on games. And they know that if you want to play the games that you want to play, you're going to have to get Game Pass. The Activision buyout is just a bigger thing with that. And while they are fighting tooth and nail to get it through, you and I both know it's going to go through. All right? It is going to go through eventually. These products are going to be Microsoft. That is just the way it is. There's nothing that's going to 100% stop it. In fact, I don't even think they can stop it legally. All they can do is put sanctions on it, which means that Microsoft has to do other things with it, such as like pay fines or promise to do certain things with the games or promise to make them multi-platform or stuff like that. That's all that they can do with that. They can't stop it. It's going to go through. They bought the company. It's done. And they can continue to buy these companies because they make so much money off this service. You should not feel like you are stealing from them, Neil. They are very clearly stealing from us, and they are setting us up to feel like it's okay when they start to steal from us harder. I tell you, man, I hate Phil Spencer, and if I met him in person, I'd punch him, I'd slap him in the mouth. And I'll tell you what makes me hate him even more is I used to be in the Phil Spencer camp. I used to love Phil Spencer. I used to think he was my best fucking friend. He's not my friend. He's not any of our friends. He is out there to cut our fucking throats and bleed the green out of them until we are done. All right? That is what he is trying to do, and that is what he's been trying to do. He's trying to take down Sony. I don't know how he would take down Nintendo, but I'm sure if there's a way, he will. And he's definitely trying to bleed us for every fucking red cent we have. The fact that they make that much money off Game Pass, and they told us that, and now they want to raise the price, is absolute bullshit. And the only reason they're even remotely able to get away with this is they're about to have everything. They're about to have all the games. That's what they're doing. They're making it so that if you want to play video games, if you want to play the good video games, you have to have Game Pass anyway. And that's the thing. That's something we've been talking about for a long time, is that when one company starts to own everything, they can make the price whatever they want. And we're getting at a point where Microsoft knows, hey, we got it all, baby. We got it all. Okay, we don't have God of War. Fine, whatever. Like, that'll sell good, but it ain't going to save Sony or keep them afloat. This kind of thing it's bullshit. It's bullshit. You're not stealing from them. They are always stealing from us.
Yeah, and it's funny too, because Phil Spencer recently has also said too, like, in regard to the scrutiny that he's getting from the whole Activision Blizzard deal thing, he's now like, whoa, well, it's all justified. Yeah, it's really like you guys should scrutinize these sort of things because it's big. It's really big, and it's just like, I don't know, the air that gave off was like somebody who's trying to get away with something, like somebody who's trying to steal something from a store, and they have whatever it is, it's like buried in the bottom of a bag.
Honestly,
and they get stopped on the way out, and they're like, yeah, absolutely, go ahead, go through my bag. Yeah, go ahead, sure, I'm an open book.
Yeah, honestly, to me, it gave me the air of the guy who's already gotten away with it and he knows you can't touch him. Like, oh yeah, scrutinize it all you want, baby. Scrutinize it all you want. Call of Duty's still mine. No matter what kind of sanction they put on it, eventually it's only going to be on Xbox. Fight all you want. That's the kind of thing I don't like about this. Is like, they have used money and power to basically cut everybody else off at the knees. And now they're making it and they've done it with this air of friendliness. With this air of like, Xbox is your best friend, man. We're here for you. We got Game Pass. You can make payment plans, whatever, baby. Give me a hug. We'll hang out together. But I'm Phil Spencer, man. I wear leather coats like you do. I'm business casual, blah, 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 blah. The thing is at the end of the day, they've made it seem like they're your friends so much that they're like, hey, man, sorry, we got to raise the price just a little bit. Fuck you. You made money hand over fist on us. Now you're going to raise the price on us 3 months later. I'm not your friend. We're not friends. We're never going to be friends. Stop treating us like friends. I hate the entire ideal of the way they come at this. Look, am I saying boycott Game Pass? No way. Game Pass is the greatest value in gaming right now. I'm not going to argue that. It is 100%. And if it raised its price $2, it'd still be the greatest value in gaming. The amount of games you get with that thing, just on subscription, pales in comparison to the amount to any other value anywhere, any other sale, anything else you see. I mean, you think about the fact that most new games are between $40 and $70, and you're paying what, $9 a month to get all of the ones that go into Game Pass for free. Look, it's a great value. Everybody should have Game Pass, but at the same time, let's not be stupid about this. Let's not go into this with eyes closed, hugging Phil Spencer like he's our best friend. He's not. He's taking money out of our... He's getting his, and he wants more because he knows he owns everything. And that is bullshit. I think there should be more outrage about this. And I think fair play, they've handled it great. They've handled it in a way that everybody's okay with it. But at the same time, I think there should be. How are you going to release a financial statement less than 4 months ago which explains just how much ungodly fucking money you make off Game Pass, and then you're going to tell us that you're not making enough off of it? Like, that's insane. That's insane. Like, you're buying companies like Activision, okay? You're buying companies like Activision and Bethesda based off the money you're earning with Game Pass. We always knew you were making lots of money off of it. Like, you're making that kind of money. That's stupid money right there, because that's the only way you can validate those kind of purchases to your board of directors and your trustees at Microsoft. So you've got to be able to say, if we buy these, look at what we're making on Game Pass. You know what I mean? So it's absolute bullshit. They're stealing from us. Nobody should ever feel that they're stealing from Microsoft, ever, because they're stealing from us, and that's 100% the way it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, no, I 100% get what you're saying, and that is a point, that I hadn't really thought about, the fact that we just had the information come out that they make stupid money for Game Pass, and then he comes hat in hand in the middle of this interview and well, eventually we are going to have to up the price. I mean, myself, I know I still have, I think it's another year of Game Pass Ultimate that's already prepaid for. I would be real frustrated if they came in after the fact and said, you're going to have to pay us the difference to keep it up, especially given I got mine through the Xbox All Access for my Series X.
Right.
Which that's a Sony move. I don't think that's a Microsoft move. But at the same time, at this point anymore, who knows really if that's outside of the realm of something a Microsoft would do.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, you cannot put anything past these. What people don't realize, he's played it really well, but the stones on Phil Spencer are fucking huge. For him to sit in an interview and hint at a Game Pass price increase after that financial statement 4 months ago. The stones on this guy. The stones on him to say everybody should scrutinize the Activision Blizzard sale when he's making the Activision Blizzard sale. Like this guy, don't put anything past him, and everybody needs to stop treating him like the fun uncle. He is not the fun uncle. He will do whatever he needs to do and whatever he thinks he can get away with, just like the rest of them. And you don't, and yes, it does seem like a Sony move to do that, but one of the reasons Sony makes these moves, okay? One of the reasons Sony makes these moves and these choices right now is because they are still treating themselves like number one. Because they've been number one since the beginning. They kicked the shit out of Xbox in the beginning. And they've been doing that up until recently. And honestly, in sales, they're probably still kicking the shit out of them. The problem is that the sales isn't where the money is right now, and that's what they don't realize. They're not looking at the right features, but they're still treating everything like they're the number one. They're the place you come to for games. They've stopped being the number one, the place we come to for games. And I think that's one of the reasons that's a Sony move. The minute Xbox starts thinking that way, they'll do the same shit. It's not above them. The minute they know that nobody can go anywhere else, they're going to treat you like you can't go anywhere else.
And, we've talked about this before, too, how it's almost like every other generation, somebody takes the lead. So basically in the PlayStation 2, Xbox era, it was the PlayStation 2 ramp. But then the 360 and the PS3, Sony was full of themselves with the PS3. They launched it at a higher price point. Effectively, it's a less powerful console. It had a Blu-ray drive, which was cool, I guess, at that period. In that period of time, I guess technically it was pretty cool. But outside of that, the 360 is where the games were. So Microsoft, slaughtered ass in that generation. And then they came through, our next console is going to have mandatory always online connectivity and this, that, and the other. And then Sony's like, haha, the fuck you won't. They reigned with the console and the games in the last generation. But even
Xbox when Sony lost ground to 360, which they did, they didn't lose it for very long. You know what I mean? It was like the first part of a generation. You know what I mean? They never slipped from their throne. Right.
Well, it was. I feel like it was them playing catch up though, which is what ended up happening in the previous generation too. With the Xbox One, the always online, they were playing damage control there, and then the Kinect is so integral. And that we all know what happened with that. They don't even make ports for it anymore on the newer consoles. And then now this generation here, Sony's like, oh, we only believe in generations. Don't listen to that, Microsoft crap over there, to where it's just the console and that's what it is, and you'll just refresh your hardware every so often.
Right.
That's the realm we're in right now. And Microsoft is doing their things to get their popularity back with Game Pass and everything like that. I wouldn't be surprised with the next round of consoles if Microsoft tries to change how Game Pass works, or move to like a whole nother foundation of how the console works, or some other crazy shenanigans, or tries to bring back mandatory online connection or something like that, and the power shifts again.
Phil Spencer is a little bit too smart for that. Credit where credit is due. Since he's been in charge, like, he took over Xbox at probably their worst. And since then, he has only put them back on the put them back on the map. He's only made correct moves. Like, really, when you look at it, I think that it will be interesting to see where this goes from here. I would really love to see how many people own a PlayStation 5 versus how many people are on Game Pass. Because that's really the competition. And that's what Sony doesn't understand, is Sony is still looking at, like, console sales versus... Yeah. And it's not. It's Game Pass versus Sony, and Game Pass is winning that war hands down. Mm-hmm. Was there anything else that came out from this interview? Because I've exhausted everything on that one.
Yeah, not that I know of. It was a longer interview. I'm sure they covered more stuff in it. I'm sure
they did.
But those were like the main beats that I really wanted to talk about.
Look, to close off what I'm saying, Game Pass, extremely valuable. Game Pass goes up in price, still extremely valuable. Think it's probably the best value in gaming. Phil Spencer is still a dick. He is not your friend. You are not stealing from him. Like, and that not just directed at you, Neil. Everybody. Like, you're not stealing from him. He's a dick, and it's going to get worse. Like, right now it's all great. But when Microsoft owns everything, things will get bad. They will get bad. All right. You want to move on to odds and ends? Maybe have a short show since my fucking throat is about to crawl out of my face.
Sure.
All right.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to our final segment, odds and ends. That's where we take smaller news stories that don't necessarily deserve a talking point. We riff on them. We tell you guys about them. And I don't have any this week. It's all Neil. Take it away, Neil. Let's do this.
All right.
I'm going to be playing the role of Peanut Gallery.
So we do have an update on something that we spoke about last time, the voice actress situation for Bayonetta 3. Oh, boy. I hate when this sort of shit happens. Come to find out, she was fucking lying the whole time.
Really?
Yeah, so it was a lie by omission. She stuck by her story that, I was only offered $4,000 and that was it. And she put that video out just, oh my God, like this is ridiculous. We need to be treated better than that. There were 5 confirmed bookings that they wanted with more on slate for acting roles for that game. That would have put her at $20,000 for the job. And then from there, the salt in the wound sort of situation is they were really upset that she wasn't coming back because she wanted more money. And they were like, well, do you even want to do like a Easter egg sort of side role, like just a quick something? We'll still pay you for that. Nope. Didn't want to do that either. Not for that amount. So egg on her face now, because she's now come out and said, yeah, it wasn't exactly the whole story. So like she wants people to like make donations from if they were going to boycott the game, like the money that they were going to not pay towards other organizations and everything. But like when a story like this happens, it really messes with everybody else. Like we talk about it all the time. Like, the poor programmers and developers who work on these games, like at the actual person sitting at the desk level, they have to unionize, they get, harassed and crunch and all this other stuff that they have to deal with. And then, we have to deal with, in some cases, situations that are actually legitimate like this, to where people can't get a good wage for the job that they're doing, in some sort of voice acting or performance role, something like that. And then we have this individual who, as it seems, she just wanted more money and tried to basically put the thumb on the scale as best she could to try to force Platinum's hand. Not a good look. Not a good look at all. It kind of frustrates me.
What bothers me? You put the nail on the head there. I'm gonna hammer it home. This kind of stuff always bothers me because we live in a society right now that's always believe the little guy, always believe the victim, always believe that stuff, and I think you should. But the problem is when you have these people like this who lie like this, it defeats every other voice actor who comes along who is getting a raw deal. Anybody else who is getting screwed by a company, now everybody can point to the Platinum Helen thing and go, oh, well, in that case, the voice actor was being a piece of shit. And I'm not going to get political on this show that obviously has many transitions to other very real life stuff that we're not going to get into, but I hate that stuff because you hurt you hurt real people's claims, to stuff like that. Drives me nuts. And this person, I'm like, look, she wants more money, fine, ask for more money, but to do it this way, like, corrupts other people's chances of getting good wages and being believed when they're getting screwed. And it really bugs me. Bugs me to the core when little guys fuck over little guys,
Yeah. So, moving on here to the next one. Kojima!
Oh, God damn it. Neil, I don't have the throat. For a Kojima story.
Oh boy, this is a fucking doozy right here. So he's given us a little bit of insight as to what he's going for with his next game.
He's never making a game again. He's gonna make weird avant-garde podcast bullshit. Fucking douchebag.
He says that what he is currently working on, his new game is, quote, a whole new medium that will, quote, change both games and movies forever. Yeah. Whole new medium. Whole new type of thing. Who knows what it's gonna be?
Could you imagine for a second, okay, that you as a person was so sure of themselves that their next project was going to completely redesign the face of a thing? I want to say right now, aside from what I do here, I'm also a writer. I also create games. I do a lot of other very creative things. I would never, ever, ever be so egotistical to get out and say, the next thing I do is going to redesign the way you look at entertainment. That is absolutely the height of fucking ego. What does this guy think he is? Like somebody needs to look at him and be like, you realize you're not God, right? You're just a little fucking weird dude with big glasses. Like, that's all you are, man. With a couple of decent ideas. Like, that's it. You had a great game 20 years ago. Shut the fuck up. Oh, fucking guy, man.
Yeah, I can
God, I
only
hate Kojima.
imagine what fucking fresh hell shenanigans he's gonna come up with for that.
And he said it's going to change the face of movies and games. Doesn't that sound like Quantum Break?
Yeah,
it sounds like Quantum Break.
It kind of really does. Yeah,
didn't really work for them either.
Like Quantum Break.
Hey, after an hour of game, do you want to watch a half-hour TV show before you can play game again? No, I don't. I don't want to watch that. I mean, that's basically what Kojima games are, though. It's a fucking 30-minute cutscene to walk for 5 minutes. I don't have the voice for this. I don't have the voice for this. I'm just gonna say Kojima is an asshat, and then I'm just gonna stop talking for a little while.
Another
you
thing,
just had to bring up Kojima.
I did, unfortunately.
Change the face of games and movies. Change the face of games and movies. What kind of... I know. You keep trying to move on. It's just I can't get over the amount of confidence you would have to be to go on the internet and be like, the next thing I do is gonna revolutionize genres of entertainment. You fucking out of here. You're gonna invent a new entertainment medium?
You're gonna inject the next game. It'll be injected into your bloodstream.
It's gonna be Black Tar Heroin by Kojima Productions. It's a really great game. Everybody gets a different experience.
Moving on. Apparently the stock of PS5 and Series X consoles is improving. As noted on Reddit, both consoles have here and there been spotted in Walmart stores relatively regularly. Of course, not, always on the shelf and available, but here and there. It only took us 2 years, but they're slowly becoming available for everyday people.
Neil, he recorded himself saying that he was going to make a new entertainment medium, and he put it on the internet for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're on a new one. Sorry.
Yeah. No. You're right to hang up on. You're right to hang.
I can't get over it. It's all I can think about.
So,
I can't conceive of the ego that you would have to have.
It was genuine confusion when I read it. Like, I thought, when I read it, I'm like, I had to have read this wrong. Like, maybe he's talking about his next game is about a medium.
Oh my god!
Like, I was like, it has to be something like that because no sane human would say that they're reinventing entire genres.
That's insane. My next game is going to be a new version of a car that drives itself. It takes you wherever you want to go, and it also has a TV in it, and it makes food for you, taco food for you, and it also somehow stars Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. Oh, okay. That's great. There's more consoles available. Glad to hear it.
So, 2 more left here. God of War's street date has been broken. Spoilers abound, kiddos. Beware. They are out there. Same situation that happened with me frickin' last time because I was watching God of War dev diary stuff for the last God of War that came out on YouTube. And as a result, because the YouTube algorithm is what it is, it's recommending randomly God of War stuff. So I did get something somewhat ruined for me. Nothing major. It's something that was, expected basically and hinted at and shown. But basically, I have to stay off of YouTube as much as humanly possible for the next week-ish, actually.
Just don't watch God of War stuff.
You what? Oh, yeah. Don't watch God of War stuff. Yeah,
don't watch God of War stuff.
Well, that's the thing. Is it's just like with Kingdom Hearts 3. Like Kingdom Hearts 3, the same situation. Street date broke, spoilers everywhere. That one was serious enough that I had to nuke my entire search history, so I didn't get anything. But actually, sidebar, this is actually the first game that I have pre-ordered not through GameStop.
Really?
Which is, yeah, it kind of felt weird, but at the same time, like, I was talking to Kayla about it the other day, and it's just like, I don't know, like, I may have finally hit that point to where it's like there's no reason for me to go into this store to pick the thing up. It'll be in my mailbox when I get home. Like,
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. And still, you didn't wake up in the morning and decide to get on the internet and explain to everybody how you had redesigned pre-ordering games from the ground up. I can't let it go, Neil. I can't let it go.
it's
I
a
don't
whole
know.
new medium.
I don't know the kind of mental state you have to be in to think that highly of yourself. Like that.
This is an official announcement. We're going to start imprinting this podcast on potatoes and handing those potatoes out to all of the subscribers. So you can take this podcast in a new medium, a podcast, if you will.
A podcast. Yes, I like it. I like it. You can make hash browns out of my face. Which, let's face it, I've redefined food and podcasting. God, I cannot believe you. Like, he woke up in the morning and was like, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna
Pretentious fuckery.
Oh my god. But that's the thing. He's so far beyond pretentious. It's like he believes it. He believes his own hype. Like,
yeah, he believes his own hype.
Like his entire identity is his own hype. How did that happen? How did he become, like, how did he exist before his hype? What personality did this dude fucking have before Metal Gear? Like, seriously. Because, like, his personality is, I'm Kojima. That guy you've heard about. Like, that's his personality. I can't get past that. I can't get past it. The idea that you woke up in the morning and you were like, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to invent a new form of entertainment. No, I'm going to tell people I'm going to invent a new entertainment because I'm so sure of myself. I'm so sure of myself that I'm going to do that.
So
I'm going to bed immediately after this. Like, immediately after this podcast, I'm going to crawl up in a fetal position down here because I didn't know ego like that existed in the world. Like, that's like beyond like even the psychopaths like Bezos and the Tesla guy and shit. Like, that's insane. This is fucking insane. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm totally derailing odds and ends here.
It's all right.
You should have saved that one for the end. You really should have saved it.
I will keep that in mind for next time. So last one here. We haven't really been talking a whole lot about it. I think primarily because it's all so just stupid. Basically, the new RTX cards launched a while ago. They're just doing away with the lower models. They're just 4090s now. They did originally announce a 4080, but the 4080 got canceled because reasons. Basically, they backpedaled on what they were going to do. So basically, they only have 4090s, and they know full well that people are going to buy them, so they're selling them at a premium on top of what they're already going to do. A la, they saw what people were doing in the GPU shortage, so they're just going to kick the price up because they know people are going to pay for it anyways.
Yeah.
Well, you are basically paying for a bonfire if you get one of those because, long story short, they're defective in catching fire. It comes down to the pin connectors for the power sources to the motherboard. If you do not have good cables, good sturdy cables, and they're bent, not like if they're bent at a wrong angle, they will short out and your computer will catch fire. There have been multiple reports of this happening. NVIDIA has since acknowledged that this is a problem. Now people are making like adapters, like right angle adapters for the power cords, so that way you don't have to worry about the bending and anything like that. But I would be pretty freaking pissed off if I spent, I believe they're going for $1,800 for this gift card, this graphics card for it to burst into flame.
You know, I hate to say this. When I got my PC, I was completely sold on PC. But PC is in a really bad place right now. Real bad place. Like, they're trying to push out technology too fast. They're not making the correct adjustments to it. It's catching on fire. It's still very hard to find lower end models. I don't know. It's in a terrible spot. I'm not gonna lie. It sucks to say this, but if somebody came to me and said, "Hey, PC or console right now, like right now in this market right now," I'd be like, "Get yourself a console." Honestly, probably if I was shopping right now and I didn't already have my PC and it wasn't an ass kicker, I would literally get a Steam Deck, because then I'd have the PC, or at least the best of the PC on it. I'd have the portability of the Switch, and I'd have a console, and then I'd buy the dock whenever it comes out. Because right now it's PC is in a bad spot with these fucking graphics cards.
Yeah, and now since basically crypto is crashing and nobody, like, these graphics cards now are just like overly produced and way too available. I was seeing an article earlier that they're being basically handed out on the street like candy, effectively. Like, people in like other countries have them just stacked up from their old mining rigs, and they're just selling them at effectively pennies on the dollar, selling them for like, $300-$400 a pop for like a 3060. Granted, those things have been run into the ground and they're probably not even worth that, but like, even right now, I just went on Amazon just to see a 3070. Now, if you remember, the 3070s at the height of the GPU shortage were going for about $1,200-ish dollars.
Yeah.
The prices have now normalized, and they're sitting at about $550.
Yeah, I mean that's still back to kind of a normal price. I think that's roughly around where I spent for mine. Although I believe I have a better one than that. Although I'm rocking an AMD. I don't do NVIDIA, so. I think that like it's a tough situation right now for PCs and people trying to build their own PCs. Honestly, I am happy that the price is normalizing a little bit, but at the same time, a lot of those products are not great, and the companies that are making them are just pushing the envelope too much on their tech instead of getting them right before they push them out to product. Like, they're more concerned with coming out with newer graphics cards than having working graphics cards, and that's a bad place to be in.
And what's crazy too is I don't know what market is that they're advertising to. Are they trying to get the people who were trying to get 3090s and couldn't get 3090s, and now they're like, hey, here's the 4090, go ahead and get this 4090? Like, they don't have tamed down versions of those cards. It's bizarre. And then those people like myself, like, I was one of those poor, unfortunate individuals who was a year and a half into my PC build and just needed a graphics card.
Yeah.
Gave up and spent $550 on a 2060.
Right.
So, like,
So you're going to have to upgrade way faster.
Yeah, I'm going to have to upgrade way sooner because of that. I mean, even still, technically, like, there's some games that are like older games that, should run pretty decent, but I still can't run a lot of stuff at max.
Yeah.
And there's some things where, granted, I know for a fact I wouldn't be able to run it at max, but there's other things where I feel like I should be able to run it at max due to everything else with my setup, but my graphics card is not there.
Right.
I just don't understand why that's the only one that they brought out. They like kind of explained it away as to why they canceled the 4080, because it was officially announced that it was coming, but it wasn't shown anywhere. And it was like a week or two after the official announcement of the 4080 and the 4090 that they're like, Well, actually, no. The 4080 is not a thing. We just have 4090s.
I mean,
this time around.
the newest graphics card is always kind of like the idea of a graphics card. Like it's never like, especially nowadays with the chip shortage and all of that stuff, it's almost like they tell you what it's gonna do, you know. I mean, as far as the like having a hard time, I'm running a 5600 XT on my PC, which is good. And I'm starting to hit some games where it's like, okay, I gotta dial this back. Just now, I probably still won't have to upgrade for another year or two, but I think that like it is tricky. Like you're gonna have to upgrade much faster if you want your PC to be comparable. And you spent the same as what I spent for basically half the graphics card, you know. And that's obnoxious. And now like the price is normalized again. It's all over the place. And it's a very tricky place to be in. I think in a year, PCs will be back to where they were before. But right now, it's such a chaotic space with the way the chip shortage has been working, the way these companies are presenting new technology, that it's not, I don't know, it's not feasible at this point.
Yeah.
I'm very glad I got it right before I went in. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it at the best time, I got it at the absolute worst possible time.
Yeah, me and Phil got ours at like the perfect time to get a PC, honestly. All right, well, is that it for odds and ends then?
Yeah, that is it for odds and ends.
All right, let's wrap this shit up. I cannot believe you woke up in the morning and just revolutionize entertainment. All right, we'll be right back with plugs.
Horrible Gaming Podcast.
All right, so that brings us to the end of the show and the shameless self-promotion that is on it. I am going to go ahead and kind of do a half plug for Neil because I have more information about it than he does. But
okay.
UHW, you can see Neil on UHW, Chad Rover. We took a small hiatus because of my throat. So the situation is this. I have 3 more episodes to post. I have nothing beyond that. I cannot record anything because my voice sounds like this, and I do all the color commentary for every episode. So I just decided starting this Saturday, I'm going to start posting those final 3 episodes. If we get all 3 episodes up and I still haven't been able to record, we will have to go on another hiatus, which is very annoying for the show, but I literally can't do anything about it. But I have those 3 episodes, so I still will start releasing them. This Saturday, you'll be able to see it on the Axiom Games channel. A week from this Friday, you will be able to see it here on Old Man Gaming. And then you'll get 3 more weeks of content after that. So nothing this week, but then next week we will resume our natural broadcast on that. Is there anything else you want to plug there, Neil? Sorry.
No, you're fine. Honestly, that was about it. At some point, one point or another, we're going to be doing another streamy streams sort of situation. But, you know, your voice has to improve for that, too.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I have so much stuff to work in the pipeline, but I can't do it because of my voice. I just can't. So yeah, I do have. If you're listening to this for Halloween, I did a review of Dead by Daylight. I know it's a very old game, but I thought it was a good Halloween review, and I'd never reviewed it before, so I decided to review that. Classic.
Spooky.
Yeah, the asymmetrical Dead by Daylight. I've been playing it quite a bit. The one asymmetrical game that 100% works. Yeah, it was a very interesting experience, and my take on it will be up as of Halloween. So check that out. Other than that, we don't really have anything else going on right now. I'm going to do a couple of streams. I don't know how many. Really depends on how much my voice holds up. So yeah, other than that, guys, as long as you keep watching and listening, we'll keep making them. When my voice starts to get better, we will start hitting you guys with the content again. But again, I'm pushing it just to get through the stuff that we're getting through. So please be patient with us. And yeah, we will see you guys next time.
It reminds me of these advertisements that I keep seeing for this show on Fox that I'm just morbidly curious about, called The Cleaning Lady.
Oh, I've seen the ads for that too. That's got to be crazy.
The premise of it alone is just
Right.
like, oh man, this has got to be gold.
What I want for that is like it to not have any action. It just to be like she
The
gets a
action's
call
already happened.
and has to go like clean blood up. Like oh, there's nothing here. She's just like, it could be like an informational thing, like a Martha Stewart. She's like looking down camera. Now for blood, you want to use a seltzer water vinegar mix.